Hey guys, Dale here, back with another RimWorld tutorial. So today I had talked about in part two of our Revenants of Thalnor series that we have a couple different types of bones that are being added by various mods. So we have bones that are being added by Medieval Overhaul. We have bones that are being added by the Outland series of mods. We also have bones that are being added by I don't know if it's the Profane mod. It might be the Profane mod. It might also be the Bone Keepers mod. But some of those bones, I want to go ahead and just like reassociate them so that they are considered the same thing in the game. And so there's a mod for that. It is called Resource Dictionary. Let me pop that up on the screen here. So, Resource Dictionary. Have you suffered any of the following problems? Wondering why wheat from VE does not work with recipes from Medieval Overhaul? You know, all these things. Let's take a look at what it looks like to kind of like merge the definitions for Medieval Overhaul bones and the Outland bones. So we're here, we have RimWorld open. We're going to go into options. We'll go into mod options and you can already see that I've like searched for bones. So if we didn't search for anything, this is the screen that you would have. But if we search for bone, we have Dank Pion Bone from Medieval Overhaul, and then we also have this one. This is Vanilla Ideology Expanded Bone. We don't need that in the list. We don't need these things to be the same thing, so we're going to remove that. Sorry, cat just like walked over the mic and I bumped into it. So if there was any feedback, I apologize. We're going to add a new thing. And so we can do a search and we can search for bone. Giant bones, bone plating. What if we just do bones? Okay, if we add this one, I think this is the one from Outland Core, and it is. So these are the bones that we want to make the same. Add. So right now, when we're butchering a creature, we're getting bones from Medieval Overhaul. We're also getting bones from Outland Core. And now we're going to say that like this one is the type of bone that we want. But anytime something references the Outland Core bones, it's going to be the Medieval Overhaul bones that we use. So we're going to activate deduplication. And so in the instructions, search for the thing or resource you want to make primary. After selecting and activating it will be the primary in that group, and other items will be replaced by it. A game restart is required in order for this to take effect. So we're still going to have Medieval Overhaul bones in our current save because they existed before we did this. But from now on, any butchering that we do should only result in one type of bone showing up. And I don't want to mess with like the animal bones from Bone Reapers or anything like that. I think these are special bones that we get from butchering the special creatures that have been added by that mod. And I think they might be useful for other things. So I'll have to see what that looks like as we play through this Revenants of Thalnor playthrough. And if it turns out that there isn't anything special for them and that they can be just used for, general things, then I might add them to this list as well. And what that would look like is we would say bones or animal bones or this PPHH. Ooh, why is that not showing up? Maybe we have to remove it from this group. I don't want to do that right now, actually, though. So we'll leave it as is. But my assumption is we would remove it from this group, and then we would be able to search it here and kind of like make that make the logic for deduping that as well. The way that I understand this to work is that like if a recipe were to specify that it needed Outland bones, since we're deduplicating these, since we're saying, hey, this thing and this thing are the same, but we're just gonna make it this thing now, that any recipes that specifically required like Outland bones would now be able to use the Medieval Overhaul bones. So it's a pretty cool mod. I've done this for components before components. So like we have all kinds of components here. We have the medieval overhaul components, we have the industrial components, and then we have the outland components. I think we can go ahead and like make this change as well. Component. So let's add that here. Let's activate deduplication, and then can we do just regular component also? Yeah. So we are playing like a medieval playthrough. We'll say like, if we were going to just deconstruct something like space chunks, if those happen to fall, instead of giving us regular industrial components, we should be getting the medieval overhaul components. And then this will also kind of like sync up the type of components that we need for constructing things to just be medieval overhaul components. So Outland has its own medieval component for building, some ballistic weaponry and whatnot. Instead of having to manage two different types of medieval components, we should only have to manage one. So it's as simple as that. At this point, I would quit to OS, relaunch the game, and then as the game is loading, it's going to look at the config file that we created there, or the changes in the config file for that mod, and it's going to say, hey, these definitions for these different things now should be this thing. Anything that's referencing thing 2 should now require thing 1 to construct it, or when you're deconstructing something, thing 1 should be returned instead of that thing 2. I am so excited about the resource dictionary mod. It is something that I think is essential for really complex mod packs with crazy amounts of different resources that should be, pretty identical. And so, one of the things that you'll see is, on Medieval Overhaul or on the Outland mods, they might say that they're like incompatible with each other, and they're not hard incompatible with each other. They are just trying to help you avoid the confusion of having two different types of medieval components. So a mod like this eliminates that confusion, or eliminates that unnecessary work, or just lack of integration that those two mods have with each other, in a simple, straightforward way. So I just want to say thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you guys learned something. Let me know if you guys have questions about the resource dictionary mod, and I'll do what I can to help you. And as always, until next time, have a good one. Bye.